Good morning, Las Vegas, and welcome to A Healthier Tomorrow. I'm Will Rucker.
And I'm Ciara Owens.
And we are so excited for this morning's broadcast. This is the show where wellness meets inspiration, and every conversation is a step toward a brighter future. So whether you're tuning in from right here in the historic West Side, you're in Summerlin, Sky Canyon, or anywhere in between, we're here to share practical, uplifting health wisdom for you and your family. So grab your aunties, call your cousins, and tell your coworkers. A Healthier Tomorrow is on the air. We are brought to you by the Southern Nevada Health District, who's helping us to level up our wellness game. So how's that going for you, Ciara?
I'll be honest, my wellness is good. Like, I have been seeing the lots of fruits of the labor and the blessings recently. So I'm feeling excited. How about you?
Amen. I like that. No, I'm seeing it on you because you look good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm hanging in there. You know, this has been a challenging month. I don't know what happened in April, but it's like everybody decided to do everything.
That part every day.
So I've been a little busy, but I like it that way. And I am making sure I still pause. You know, I love my 20 minutes of silence in the morning.
Yes.
So I've been making sure to get that in. But my body doesn't know the time changed. So I'm waking up an hour early.
Yes, and being wide awake.
And wide awake, absolutely. Which also means I'm trying to go to bed at night.
Yep.
But my calendar doesn't know that. So, yeah.
Even it's on the way here, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I'm tired. And I said, and I still got 8 more hours like that I'm on
right.
today. And I'm just like, okay, what we gonna do? And so we just gotta make sure we take that time to rest when we can, schedule the rest like we schedule everything else.
That's right, yeah.
And be kind to ourselves and each other as we navigate such a busy time.
For sure. And one thing that's really been helping me, because again, everything is happening all at once, is I am literally on my calendar. I'm putting in my break time.
Yep.
I'm putting in, I learned this thing called a VILPA. Don't ask me what it stands for, but basically just every so often you do some high intensity exercise for like 5 minutes. So whether that's going up the stairs, doing push-ups or squats, whatever it is, you just take a minute or two to do that, get your heart rate going, and then sit back and get back in your day. And the science behind it says that you can be healthier, so I trust that.
I say, hey, I'm gonna borrow that. I can do 5 minutes of some high intensity. I can do that. Maybe a little longer, something else. But I told you I had that wellness goal. I've been picking the salad over the macaroni and cheese.
Love it.
I've been not going through the drive-thru and going home to eat as much as I enjoy.
Your wallet probably likes that too.
My wallet does like it a lot more.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of food, I just want to shout out Obodo Collective. Tonight is the Sunset Supper starting at 5 p.m. at the Obodo Urban Farm right here in the West Side. So if you are free, want to get some healthy food, learn a little bit about how to improve your nutrition, come on by. It is a free event. And I know we'll have a ton more at the end of the program. But since we were talking about nutrition and staying healthy, I thought we'd talk about that for a moment.
Those are our friends there. We love it over there.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we are going to dive into the program. We've got a fantastic guest. I am so excited that she is here. This is someone that I have interacted with via email for I don't know how long, but I think this is the first time we're actually face to face. So actually, why don't you introduce yourself, Mai?
Yeah, thank you. And yes, it is our first time meeting face to face in real life. So my name is Mai Tran, and I am the Nevada Area Director with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the work that you're doing and for taking time, because you've got a big event coming up.
We do.
Yeah, but you're taking time to be here and talk to our community, so we really appreciate it. I want to start just with understanding why this matters, why it's important.
Yeah, I'll share just a little bit about my story and how I got engaged with it, and then just the importance of our community coming together and having these conversations. So I'm a survivor of suicide loss. So I lost 5 people in my life to suicide over the last 12 years. And so, oftentimes when someone has lost someone in this way, you kind of just throw yourself into like, what can I do to make an impact on our community to prevent this from happening to somebody else? And so I started volunteering with the crisis text line as a volunteer crisis counselor. about 11 years ago. And then it's just kind of evolved, I should say, over the years. And then I got connected with AFSP. I was actually doing the CAN training at the center, the LGBTQ center, and I was introduced to AFSP, and I said, as soon as the class was over, I said, I need to be involved with you. I feel like the universe is literally throwing this in my lap right now. And so I started as a volunteer with them, and I actually was hired on as the very first paid staff member that our chapter has ever had, and we're celebrating our 10 years this year.
Congratulations on 10 years. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's so incredible. And just to reflect on how powerful volunteerism, how powerful the community is I started almost 3 years ago with the organization. So for 7 years before that, this work was done only by volunteers.
Yes.
Like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That's truly the power of the community, and thank you so much for sharing how you turned like pain into true purpose, and so alongside so many others. What all does AFSP offer to the community?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our mission is to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. And so we do that through four pillars. So we do that through research, education, advocacy, and support. So to go a little bit more into each of those, research is actually how we started as a national organization back in the late 80s. We are to this day the number one private funder of research in the country on suicide. And so all of our research then is used to be able to help us with our education programs. So we provide free education programs to the community on suicide prevention and how to support those that are at risk. Our kind of flagship program is called Talk Saves Lives, and we have information in there on different demographics as well, and how it impacts communities of color differently than it might impact communities that are not of color. We have programs for the Latinx and Hispanic. We have one that just launched last year that is specific to the Black and African American community. And it was, both those programs were advised by people in the community, and they are delivered only by people in the community. And so I love those programs so much. And so then the advocacy part, we actually advocate for public policy at a national and at a local level. We have our Advocacy Action Day in Carson City coming up on May 5th. So we have a small group that's going up there, and then going that are already in Northern Nevada and driving over. And we get to talk to our legislators, and we get to share information about who we are. And then lastly, we provide support to survivors of suicide loss. And so we do that through our walk is one really big way. It's a big community event that we have coming up. I can talk about that a little bit more. And then we also have our Healing Conversations program, which is really beautiful. It's a free one-time conversation for a survivor of suicide loss to connect to somebody who has a similar loss to what you've experienced. And the goal is to provide resources, be a listening ear, and really just to kind of help guide and them along this journey of healing and of grief. And then we have our Survivors of Suicide Day Lost event, which is the Saturday before Thanksgiving every single year. It's a free event. We actually host it at here in Las Vegas at the Dula Community Center. We have for the last 3 years. And again, free for anybody to come in. And the goal is to just provide that support and hope and community, especially before the holidays kick off.
Wow. I mean, you all are doing a lot.
I know. I feel like I just spoke for a very long time.
No, but it was all such amazing information. You're approaching suicide prevention from so many angles, which reaches so many different people. So thank y'all tremendously for the work that y'all do.
It's important to be able to have that whole encompassing, right? There's the prevention and then the postvention, which is also prevention.
Yes.
So there's and it takes truly a community to be able to make any sort of impact.
Yeah, and I don't think that anyone is unaffected by this. I know sometimes when I'm talking about mental health, and we offer a program that's called QPR, basically is like how to ask the question. Sometimes people don't want to say the word suicide because it creates a visceral reaction, as it should, certainly. And I'm hoping that you can educate our audience on how to talk about it, how do we describe it instead of saying terms that we probably shouldn't, that maybe aren't the right way to describe it? How do we appropriately talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you asked that question. So we do safe languaging. And so when someone has, we actually say someone died by suicide instead of someone has committed suicide. It is a public health issue. And so when you think about the word committed, oftentimes you're thinking of maybe something that might be a little bit more on the negative side, right? Committed a crime, something along those lines. And it's not a crime. It's a public health issue. So we say phrases like died by suicide, killed themselves. And they can feel killed themselves can feel a little bit more, maybe a little more intense of a phrase, but when we can start to change that, the research has actually shown that we are not triggering others who have been affected by suicide by saying died by suicide. It's just like someone who's died of a heart attack or died from cancer. They've died by suicide. And then another really big one too is not sharing any graphic details. If someone has, that can be quite activating for someone who has experienced a loss by suicide. And maybe it's not even a loss by suicide, but maybe they've lost somebody in their life to something in a similar way.
Right,
and maybe it's not by their own hand, right? And so really not sharing any of those details. It's not important. It's not important to know if someone left a note. It's not important to know. We're never going to know the why behind it. There's so many reasons. There's not one reason that someone has taken their life. And oftentimes, as a community, as a society, we look at like the one thing that we can see on the outside that has happened to somebody. They lost their job, they went through a divorce or a breakup or something kind of large. And so we oftentimes are like, oh, that's the reason why it happened. But that's not always the whole case.
Right. I'm so glad that you highlight that, because I know, and I have a personal connection to this. And for years, I absolutely blamed myself. And I was looking for that why. Well, what if I had just done this? Or what if I just made one more phone call? Or maybe I didn't look at them the right way that day. There are so many things that you deal with in that guilt and that survivor's guilt in a sense. And also just the human nature of needing certainty. And so thank you for giving us permission to not even ask the question. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
It's not important. What's important is that we're able to honor the person who is no longer here, that we cared about and loved about so much, and that we share those moments of joy and happiness. Because research has also shown that when someone dies by suicide, a majority of the time they are in an active mental health crisis, and they're not able to see past that moment of crisis. And so that seems like the best decision for them to make. They almost have this like tunnel vision, and we don't want to remember them that way. Right? I don't want to remember the ones that I've lost that way. I want to remember them as, my cousin Casey as being somebody who we could laugh about and we talk about Vietnamese food about, and, we have all these really great memories. I don't want to think about him in a way of being in distress, and then you feel that guilt and the shame and so much that comes along with the survivors.
So, Mai, thank you again for all of this. Like, I have connections as well, and just thinking and all that. So I appreciate you for that. Can you tell us more about that Out of the Darkness walk?
Oh my gosh.
Because I know we were talking offline about just the energy behind it. So mind sharing with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So our Out of the Darkness community walks are, as a national organization, our largest community events and peer-to-peer fundraisers that we host. Nationally, we have over 400 events that happen all across the country. And our one here in Las Vegas is this coming Saturday, so just a couple of days away. It's on April 26th at the Sunset Park. And it's truly a community event. So we have, I think right now we have about 35 different community partners that are out to share resources. They'll be there with the community. It's free for them to attend. We have the Vegas Golden Knight cheerleaders. We have the Desert Dog cheerleaders. We have a lot of really incredible activations. We have a kids corner for, you to bring families. We have a dog adoption that's going to be happening, which we introduced last year for the first time. We have therapy dogs that are there. We have sound healing that happens throughout the entire event. We have a comfort tent for someone who just is maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by, or overstimulated by the community, by what's happening. We start the day off with yoga. It's really just such a beautiful way to come together. You don't have to be a survivor of suicide loss in order to attend. You can be somebody who is living with suicidal thoughts, who has survived your own suicide attempt, or you're just there to support. And even if you know somebody or you don't know somebody who maybe is struggling, maybe they haven't shared it with you yet. But it's such a beautiful event, and Sunset Park is like top tier.
Yes,
yes, Sunset is beautiful. We have so many amazing spaces in Las Vegas.
I know.
I'm a transplant. I've only been here a little over a decade now, and I love the Strip. One of my favorite things in the universe, right? And Sunset Park is just otherworldly, and the little ducks and things.
Yes.
It's a great place. And being in nature is so healing and energizing.
For sure.
And great for mental health.
Yeah, we talk so much about, like grounding and getting outside and when you were speaking earlier about how you take your 20 minutes a day and, when you first wake up and then you take 5 minutes to kind of do something or whatever to be active. I actually set alarms to put my face in the sun.
I love that.
In the middle of the day. It's like, go outside, put your face in the sun for 5 minutes, because sometimes you can just forget to do that.
Yes.
Wow. And thank you for talking about the sun. We have so much sun in Las Vegas.
Too much sometimes.
No such thing.
I know. I'm just kidding. I love it so much.
Yeah, but as someone, again, not from this space, my grandparents came to visit for the first time in 2020 or something, right before the pandemic. And they were like, y'all have so much sky here. We don't have this much sky in Detroit. And then my uncle came and said the same thing. And I was like, well, I guess it must be true.
That's funny. When my mom comes, she's from Ohio, and she says, I cannot come in the summertime. It's way too hot. I'm melting.
Yes.
I know, but you love it.
It's the best feeling. How can we support? How can we show up?
Oh my gosh, there's so many ways. One, just show up. Come to the walk on Saturday. It's most of the people who get engaged with AFSP, this is their kind of introduction to our organization, and you feel the love, you feel the community. Also, we are always looking for volunteers to help facilitate our programs, to help us just get our name out, to help us with tabling events. So you can sign up at our website, afsp.org/Nevada, and it'll show you how to volunteer there. And then we're a nonprofit, and this is our largest fundraiser. So I'm always going to shout out, we're looking for donations. Our goal this year for the walk is $180,000, and we are on our way there.
Okay.
But we could absolutely use a little bit of help from our community.
Understood. Yes. So we will do our best to help out on that piece as well. I'm excited because I'll be attending.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I was having a conversation with the mister just last night, and he asked, do you know anything about this suicide prevention walk coming up? Like, I might know a little bit. So his team at work they have a walk team that's going to participate. So he and his coworkers will be there. I will be there as well. And it's going to be a good day. There's something about being in community, coming together for a purpose, and it's just so uplifting. No matter the subject, no matter the cause, just being together in community in these times is especially important. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. I'm so glad you were able to join. There's so many times where in the last few years, I just have to take a step back and go to the very end and just take a look at the crowd, and you just get so emotional of just seeing everybody coming together. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. So as we wrap up our conversation here, what do you want to leave with our audience? Out of everything we've talked about, of course, we want them to show up at the walk. We're going to do that. We're going to donate. We're going to do all those things. But beyond that, what do you want them to take away from your time with us today?
Yeah, thank you. One, if you are somebody who is experiencing suicidal thoughts or just feeling some kind of challenges, you're not alone. And there are people out there who want to support you and help you. And it's really hard to ask that question, but just know that they are there for you. So don't be scared and have the courage to do that. And if you're somebody who has lost someone to suicide, you're not alone. There are so many people who have experienced that. And when you start to open up and just share that this is what you have experienced, you'll be shocked to see how many others will open up as well, and that could give them the courage to share their story, which is what the most important thing is.
Yeah, you are not alone. That's powerful. All right, what time are we showing up on Saturday at sunset?
9 a.m. is when yoga starts, and we open up yogas for 30 minutes. We open up our registration, our community partners at that time. Our opening programming will start at 9:55 on the dot. We have a little surprise we're excited about at 9:55. And then we follow up the walk, and it ends at noon.
Awesome. Well, Mai, thank you so much for spending your morning with us here on A Healthier Tomorrow. We are Las Vegas' #1 public health radio program, so glad that you could help add to what we are offering here. Ciara, what else is going on in the community?
Yeah, so much. And I want to sit there and say, I have people texting me right now saying how they need to be at the walk. So thank you so much for raising that. As far as it goes, on top of the walk on Saturday, there's also a walk on Sunday. The Aid for AIDS of Nevada, AFAN, has the AIDS Walk Las Vegas. It will be at the Las Vegas Ballpark. The festival starts at 9 a.m. and the walk starts at 10 a.m. You can register at afanlv.org. As always, every single Wednesday at the center, there's food distribution from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. at the center at 401 South Maryland Parkway. Food is distributed on a first-come, first-served basis while supply lasts. The center, our friends there, aligns actually with something that Mai shared earlier. You have connection in the community where you can have the opportunity to actually dive in and become someone that is able to support our loved ones. So check out the center there. We also have Sisters in Strength, which is a empowerment space for African American women living with HIV. Is the last Saturday of every month, which is this Saturday, April 26th at noon. Come for conversation, connection, and support. There's also a suicide prevention and resilience workshop for youth, parents, and the community at the center Saturday, April 26th from 2 to 5 p.m. Register at tinyurl.com/TMPTO426. There will be an opportunity to really be able to dive in and talk about how we're able to support our youth in suicide prevention and wellness. Did you know, Will, that Nevada ranks 17th in the U.S. for overall STIs?
I did not know that.
Yeah, 17th, y'all. 17th. So last week was STI Awareness Week, but we want to sit there and make sure we know our status in all forms at all times. So you can also go to the Center for Regular STI Testing. You're able to learn why testing matters, find out who should get tested and how often, and explore low or no cost options at the center. Please make an appointment today at thecenterlv.org/newspost. We have more. There's a lot of things happening in the city. As we talk about being busy. As always, we've had them as a guest of the show, y'all. Please make sure you know the pop-up stand, produce stands that are at Bonneville Transit Center are still happening. They will be happening May 6th and 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We got time for more. So much happening, y'all. So we sit there and think about immunization with our kids. Infant immunization is really this week, April 21st to the 27th. You can find out information and also win raffles by visiting our friends at the Southern Nevada Health District at southernnevadahealthdistrict.info/NIIW. Every superhero needs a shield, so get our babies vaccinated. As far as it goes, there's also time to join at the Southern Nevada Health District today for the Mama and Papa Bear Clinic, so you are able to have group-based education event for families to learn more how to take care of our babies and have great support. It started today at 8 a.m., but you can go all the way through 4 p.m., y'all, at the Southern Nevada Health District at 280 South Decatur Boulevard.
Wow, we do have quite a bit going on. I'm gonna add one more event. I've been trying to follow in your footsteps because you do such a great job. But coming up this Saturday, the 26th, is the YMCA Healthy Kids Day.
Oh.
Yes, so learn about pool safety, stay water smart. There are going to be some demonstrations on how to wear a life vest, and it's going to be a good time at the YMCA on North Durango, 3521 North Durango Drive in Las Vegas from 12 noon to 2 p.m. So come on out.
And we can't forget our African American Men's Health Summit, Prevention and Wellness. We've talked about this before. It is Saturday as well. Saturday is the biggest day. This weekend is busy. April 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is free and open to the public. It is going to be at the Doolittle Active Adult Center. It is in partnership with the Doolittle Active Adult Center, Community Affairs, the West Las Vegas Arts Center, Archwell Health, and just go, y'all. Go, fellas. Deontay, I'm talking to you. Make sure you go as well. Bring Junior. Y'all have an amazing day.
That sounded personal. So. But please show up. So there's no excuse for anybody to be bored.
No, not at all. There's so much, and it's like, how do you divide your time? There's so many powerful, amazing things. So figure out what interests you, y'all, and go. Make the time to go.
That's pick the thing that you like, because you can do it.
You can do it.
That's right. We're just talking about this, the year that we're in, the year of the snake. And Mai, I'm going to bring you back in for just a second, if you don't mind.
Good to be back.
Help us understand this shedding.
Listen, this is a year of transformation. And so you just need to shed the things that no longer are needed in your life and be open to whatever that universe is going to provide for you. We were just sharing, like, you miss doing something that you used to do when you were younger. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Thank you.
And I said, so what's holding you back?
Yeah.
And life is too short. We were just having this conversation, about suicide prevention. Life is too short to sit around and wait until we're older and say, gosh, I wish I would have done this. Like, the time is now.
Yes.
We just let it happen.
Yeah. So get out there, do the thing you want to do. And in Las Vegas, there's no reason you can't.
No.
Absolutely. And there is a lot going on this weekend.
Amazing. Well, Mai, thank you again for being our guest today. Ciara, it's always such a pleasure.
It's always. I look forward to Wednesdays.
Yes, me too. What do you want to leave with our listening audience today?
Y'all, like Mai say, go out there, go to the event, wear the jewelry, open the wine. What are we saving it for? Time is now, and celebrate, because there is a lot to celebrate, even in the midst of where we feel like there's darkness. So go in the light.
I love that. Put your face out there. Set an alarm so you get the sunlight. This has been A Healthier Tomorrow. I am Will Rucker.
And I'm Ciara Owens.
And as we always remind you, you are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And what you do matters. So live compassionately, stay healthier, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.